Got a property where the sewer keeps backing up into the basement. My old sewer camera could not see past 68 feet. Run this new sewer camera down, and at 72 feet, I've got a small section of tree roots there. Run it out a little bit further, and at 82 to 84 feet, we have a partial collapse of the sewer pipe. I don't have the proper licensing, bonding, or insurance in order to dig in the street, so we've got to call in a contractor. Once the locates are active, they get all the equipment dropped off, then they start to cut holes in the asphalt. We were able to get the sewer located, so we had a pretty good idea of where it was at. But between ground level and where everything's at, we're not quite sure on the depths. And there's also a 24-inch water main we gotta watch out for. The excavator would dig down just a little bit, then the guys would hand dig to see if they could find stuff, and the excavator will continue to dig. It didn't take too long, and they hit an unmarked gas line. The best way to tell whether this line is active or not is to take a drill and to drill a hole in it. If no gas comes out, then we know the line is dead and it's able to be cut out. And if it's active, a small drilled hole is easier to fix than a cut. Once they've confirmed that the line is dead, we're able to get this line cut out. 3 cuts, then they can continue with the digging. And at this point, we finally have first contact with the sewer pipe. Realizing they need to shift the excavation trench a little bit to the east, they're going to break out the concrete saw and get another section of the road removed. Once they've got the asphalt removed and dug down a little bit more, they're going to take a trench box and stick it in the hole for worker safety. I believe in this configuration it was 5 feet wide. It still allowed people to work in the trench, and the excavator could still dig through this. Once that's installed, they continue to dig on the north side. Not knowing how far back the main was, I grabbed the sewer camera, run it down so we are able to get a length measurement. From the camera, we can tell we got 2 feet of Orangeburg, then 2 feet of clay. And if you're wondering what Orangeburg pipe is, it is wood pulp fibers that has been dipped in liquefied coal tar pitch. So it's basically cardboard dipped in asphalt tar. This right here is the connection on the north side, which goes to the sewer main. It'll be easiest to attach to this clay pipe, and this is the collapsed section of pipe underneath the 2-foot water main. Now that we've got everything done on the north side, we just need to continue the process on the south side. The south side is going to be a little bit more tricky because we have the water service going from the 24-inch water main to the house. Basically repeating the same process as before. The excavator will dig down a little bit, then the workers in the trench will expose the pipe, and the excavator will continue to dig safely. As they were digging, they would put the topsoil in one section and the gravel that was in the road in the other section. Once they got down to the water line, they needed to switch to the narrow bucket in order to continue to dig, and as they were digging, they found another pipe.
You got something else down there.
After continuing to dig, it appears that it is a 6-inch water main, and we're not 100% sure if it's still in use or not. After the excavator gets done digging everything on the south side, we need to hand dig underneath the 24-inch water main. Once that last piece of Orangeburg sewer pipe is removed, we need to remove a little bit more dirt in preparation for the new sewer line. And between the collapsed piece of pipe and this chunk of tree root, that was 90% of our problem. Here you can see where the water connection for the house used to be connected to that 6-inch water main, and where they have it connected to the 24-inch water main. Head inside real quick, do a quick inspection to make sure that we're taking care of all of the issues while we're here. I'll back the camera up a little bit, then they're going to use a saw to cut a 90-degree angle on the sewer pipe. Once that's done, I send the camera back out and check everything out again. Now that they've got everything prepared, they can start the final repair. Dig a little bit more around this sewer pipe. Now they're going to start to lay in the new pipe. It took a little bit of convincing to get the new sewer pipe underneath the new water main and the old water main. They're going to use a banded coupler on the north side to connect between the new sewer pipe and the old clay pipe. While we're here, we're also going to install a 2-way cleanout. This way, if we have a problem in the future, we won't have to drag any equipment into the house. Once they've got everything laid into position, they can get some measurements for the next piece of pipe that they need to cut. And I think this saw is a little bit of overkill, but it gets the job done. After they get the pipe cut, they're going to need to chamfer and deburr both sides of the sewer pipe, and this little tool makes short work of that. Unlike most PVC, which is glued together, this pipe is not glued together, but there is a gasket in the bell which does the waterproofing. In order to get the pipes together without tearing that gasket, they need to use just a little bit of lubricant. Once they get the two-way cleanout installed, there's going to be one final piece between the cleanout and where they hook it up to the existing sewer pipe. One more quick cut with the saw, get it deburred, lubricated, and installed. Once they get the pipe in place, they just need a little bit of leverage to get it fully inserted. And once again, they need a banded coupling to make the connection to the existing sewer system. After that, they get the riser on the two-way cleanout installed. Once that's done, I head inside, turn the water back on, and do a few test flushes. Ran the camera down real quick just to make sure we don't have any issues. Not seeing any issues, I'm going to give them the green light to backfill and to pack in the trench. It's important that as they fill the trench back in, they're able to pack the dirt back in so that later on the sinkhole does not develop. It's also important to make sure that they don't collapse the water line as they're backfilling the trench. The excavator has a quick attachment which allows them to switch between the packing roller and the excavator bucket. At this point, they can remove the trench box and start to fill in the north side. It's important to make sure that the dirt is compact. To make sure they don't hit a water main, they put a guy in the trench to tell the excavator operator how far he can go before it becomes an issue. In order to speed up the process a little bit, they're going to use the skid steer to push the dirt in the hole, then use the excavator to continue to compact it. For tonight, they're going to completely fill the trench in the street, but they will eventually come back a little bit later, remove a few inches of dirt, and put in a road base. And hopefully before the end of the year, we're going to be able to get asphalt back in. Once everything's cleaned up here, I'm going to head back down into the basement and do one final sewer scan of the sewer pipe. Before, I was only able to get the camera out 84 feet, but now I'm finally able to get the camera all the way out to the street, which is at 95 feet. The view on the top is the before, camera on the bottom is the after. As you can see there, we just went through the double clean out, and now just continuing to the street. And with the road safe to drive on tonight, I'm going to be done with this project and on to the next one, which is a broken water valve that is buried about 5.5 feet down.